Hello my lovelies, you are especially welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Princess. If today is your first time visiting my channel, you are specially welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please don't hesitate to turn on the subscribe button on your phone, hit the notification button so that you will be the first to be notified whenever I post a new video. And by doing that, you will specially become a member of my soul family. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you all how to draft a basic bodice block. Please keep on watching. For us to draft a basic bodice block, you need the following. You need your ruler, your curve ruler as well, measuring tape, a pencil, a scissors, a paper, of course. Alright, I want to believe that we all have mastered how to take an accurate measurement. If you don't know how to do that, I will advise you to watch the last video I made before this so that you'll be able to take your accurate body measurement. Alright, for us to start, you might like to measure 1 inch, okay, and mark just a straight line. I like to bold on the line so that we can all see it properly. So I'll be using my marker pen, to bold on this line. So this now becomes our starting point, our shoulder line. Right, so quickly I'll be taking down all the horizontal measurements. So from our shoulder line, we are going to measure our shoulder to bust point is 9.5. So starting from this line, I'll quickly measure 9.5 is here. Alright, and from my shoulder again, I'll go down to my under bust line, which is 13.5. I'll mark it here. From there, I'll measure my front length is 16. I'll mark it here. I would like to correspond this line by marking it here as well so that I can be able to get a straight line. So this is my bust point, this is my under bust, and here is my front line. So quickly, I'll mark them out. Alright, after marking it out like this, I like to measure 4 inches away from my waistline, as it's going to serve as my hemline. Because we are making a half block scale, I cannot take this measurement down to the hip line, so it's going to stop at the hem, and that is 4 inches away from my true waistline. I'm going to measure 1 inch away from this part to be my starting point, just as we did here. This helps me to maintain an accurate line. But if you know that the paper you are using is actually straight, you can as well start yours from the edge. So this now becomes my center front CF. So quickly, I'll go ahead and label this line. This here is my shoulder line. This is my bust point. This is my under bust. This is my true waistline, and this is the hem line. I hope you're following. Now, before I forget, the measurements we need for this is your front length and your back length. You also need your round bust measurement. You need your under bust measurement. You need your round waist measurement. You also need to measure from your waist to the hem. It could be your blouse length. Anyways, okay. Then you need your shoulder to bust, shoulder to under bust, shoulder to your waist, shoulder to the hem. So these are the measurements you need, and of course you need your shoulder measurement. So now I'm going to impute my shoulder measurement. It's 13. We're going to divide it by 2, and I'll be marking it here. I'll mark it here, and on that point I'm going to come down by 1.5. I'll mark 1.5. Next, again, I'm going to measure my neck depth and my neck width. We're going to use 3 inches by 3 inches since we are making a basic bodice. So this is my 3 inches, and this is my 3 inches, and with my curve I'm going to connect this point together like so. Next, we connect the shoulder slant like so, and on this point we're going to determine our chest line so that we'll be able to curve out our armhole. And to do that, you have to divide your round bust measurement by 6, and then you add 1.5 to it. And when you get that measurement, you're going to measure from this shoulder drop to be able to mark what you have. You mark it here, and then you will roll it down. So I'm marking it all the way down so that I'll be able to also, draft the back pattern from it. So having done that, immediately I'll input my shoulder measurement. I will impute it here. So remember what we measured here, shoulder divided by 2. Okay, we're equally going to mark it over here, like so, and then we'll connect these 2 points together. So next thing, we go in by 3 inches. 3 inches. and from that dot we are coming in by 0.5. Follow along and you will not miss it. Now we connect this point together. Okay, it's as simple as that. All right, the next thing we'll be doing now is to divide our bust measurement by 4. We're going to impute that measurement right here. Next thing, we'll curve our armhole. You see, that is quite easy, right? All right, I'm glad it's actually taking shape. Going forward, we're going to mark our waist dart, and for us to do that, we'll divide our nipple to nipple measurement by 2. So the nipple to nipple measurement I'm working with is 6. So divided by 2 is 3. So I'll come right here, my bust point, and I'll mark 3, and I'll go down to the hem of this pattern, and I'll also mark 3, and then I'll connect the 2 points together. Next thing I'll do is to impute my dart on the waistline. So the dart difference I'm taking is 0.75 on both sides. So on this side I'll mark 0.75, and on this other side I'll also mark 0.75, and I'll connect them, and I'll connect from the hem like this as well. I'll do the same for this part, and that will be all for our dart intake. So quickly I'll take my measurements. The waist measurement I'm working with is 27 divided by 4. I'll mark it here, and then I'll measure the dart intake and I'll add it to it. So everything I am measuring is going to be marked here. So this is my waist measurement divided by 4 plus my dart intake. Next I'll measure my hem. I'll mark the difference here. Alright, and next thing I'll do is to use my curve and connect them together. Alright, so the next dart intake I'm supposed to take here is my bust dart, your front length by your back length. So the difference is what I'm going to mark here. So by the time I measure, my front length is 16 and my back length is 14. So 16 minus 14 is 2. So 2 inches is my bust dart intake. So I'll come right here on my bust line and I'll measure 2 inches down. I'll put a dot there. Okay, next I'll connect it to my bust point. So alright, so that will be all. The next for the back is going to be actually the same thing that we have done. We're going to start from this point. If you watch, this is our center front. So I'll write CF here, center front, and for the back, here will be our center back. So maintaining all this other horizontal line that I've marked here, I'll continue. The next thing I'm going to do is to measure from shoulder to my back length, and that will give me 14. So I'll mark it and I'll roll it. Next thing I'll do is to measure. Remember this, but I measure from the front waistline to my hemline, it was 4 inches. So I'll mark my 4 inches as my back hemline, and I'll connect it. Now coming back to the shoulder, I'm going to measure my neck width to be 3 inches, and my neck depth I'm going to mark 1 inch. Okay, next I'm going to increase my shoulder measurement. I'll mark it here, and for the back I'm going to come down by 1 inch. 1 inch. I'm going to impute the shoulder measurement on my chest line. Remember, this is our chest line, while this is our bust point line. So I'll impute that measurement right here, so that I'll be able to curve out our armhole. So I'm connecting this point together from the shoulder slant down to my chest line. I'll divide this into 2 to get the midpoint. You mark your midpoint like so, and on that midpoint I'm going to go right in by 0.5. I would like to connect this point together, and without wasting time, I would like to mark my shoulder slant. Alright, so the next thing I'll do is, because of the bulge that we normally experience at the back, I would like to shape in the back by coming in from the waistline. I like to come in by 0.5, and I'll connect this point back to my neckline. Alright, and I'll connect this back to the hem. Now we are going to also divide our bust into 4 and mark the difference on our chest line, just like we did for the front. I'm going to repeat it here. Now I'm taking my measurement not on the center point, I'm taking my measurement from this line. So this is my new CB, and I'll mark it right here. Next, I'll like to curve my armhole. Alright. Next thing I'll be doing now is also to take the dart intake for the back. Remember, our dart is 3 inches. So I'm going to come in. Now I'm going to come in from the exact, from this point, so that I can get my perfect straight line. So I'm going to mark my 3 inches here, and I'll also mark it like so. Now for me to take my dart at the back, I'm going to come down by 1 inch from the chest line. 1 inch. So this is my 1 inch. So that is where my dart leg have to start from, and I'll take it all the way to the hemline, like so. Now I'm going to repeat the same dart intake we took for the front, and then I am going to draw out my actual dart leg. Alright, okay, now having done that, next thing I'll do is to impute my measurement as well. Now I'm going to measure everything I have on the waistline because it's almost same, and I'm going to repeat it here. I'll mark it like so, and I'll also divide my hemline divided by 4, and I'll mark the same thing here. Now I'll connect all my points together. It's easy, isn't it? Now one more thing, remember that we have not added any form of allowance to this pattern. We add all our allowances when we are transferring this pattern to fabric. Now here it is. Now we can go ahead and label. This is your center front, like I said. This is the side front. This is the side back, and this is our center back. So I'll begin to cut it out now. Now before I cut out the front look, I'm going to close our bust dart, and for you to close the dart you have to open up another dart. So I'm going to open up this dart leg. So this is pretty much what we have. This is the back pattern, okay, and this is our front pattern. So from here we'll begin to do alterations into any desire of our choice, but this is going to be our slooper basic borders block. All right, thank you so much for joining me. I hope this tutorial has been very helpful. I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.